Perfect.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of Hobby Hotline, the hobby's only live call-in show with a combined over 200, I believe it is, Ben, years experience in the industry with all of us. I would like to bring you the best we can each weekend. Of course, this show is run by you, so we want you to call in as much as possible. I'll be putting the link here in the chat in just a few moments. Of course, my name's Drew. And I am joined today by 1/3 of About the Cards, Mr. Ben Wilson. What's up, bud?
Good morning, gentlemen. I feel like I'm missing a T-shirt. You guys are representing Mojo, and here I got the Ninja Turtles. Gotcha. All right, I see how it is.
Well, it works.
Yeah, I got to correspond with Drew in the future so we don't show up as twinsies.
As I put, as I was about to get on, I was like, Dan's on the show today. I wonder if I should wear the shirt, but we'll be on the same team today. But
I don't have one.
Joined by Dan. Oh.
I don't have one. So if Douglas is out there, he can send one 90 minutes down the freeway.
We'll get one out to you for sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
No.
For
you got
7 years now.
You got me now. I'm here. I'll probably get it out before I leave today. It might be there by Monday.
There it is.
There you go. So what's going on, everybody? Chris Harris, Ziggy No, Texas Card Dude, Johnny 75, 1976 Astros, everybody else. What's going on? Hope everybody is having a good Saturday and early morning for some of you guys over on the West Coast. But yeah, guys, pretty interesting week in the hobby, to say the least. I know there's quite a few things I want to touch on today. And as always, guys, I want you guys to call in and let us know what you want to talk about, because like I said, there is a ton. But I guess we should probably start out with the email that Top sent out yesterday. Contained something pretty interesting. Yet another online exclusive. It seems every day Panini drops one, Topps follows with another one themselves, and looks like we're getting a Topps Finest exclusive here. From what I know, not too much information's known about it at this time. Dan, you deal with this obviously in a lot more detail than I do. What have you heard about it? What do you guys think about this?
Don't know much about it, except that obviously we just got done releasing Finest Hobby.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like it's going to be one parallel. So no guaranteed auto. I don't even know if there's autograph content, but there's going to be one parallel, and the parallel is going to be reminiscent of the original refractor from maybe, is it 93 Finest or 94 Finest, whatever first year Finest came out.
Well, I like that.
Which is cool. Don't know what the pack configuration is going to be. Don't know what the price is going to be, but not putting autograph content is that right there is what I was talking about, last week with Doug. It's getting to the point where the autograph content, even if it's a sticker auto, is what's saving us from everything being mass produced. And we get back to the junk wax era, because if they can just throw out content and not have to use any type of autographs or relic inventory, then what's going to stop them from just keeping the presses going?
Well, Panini just did that with the optic mega boxes. Yeah. There's a reason that they're at every single Walmart right now on the shelves again, and they haven't been for months. It's because there's no autographs. There's the pink parallels. So those, the print runs have soared through the roof now on when you look at that. But then there's only the checkerboards, but they don't guarantee those. That's just a possibility. So once again, there's a reason that you're seeing 5 or 6 that show up at every single Walmart every single week now. I completely agree. But Ben, I mean, what do you? I mean, you mentioned, we were talking a little bit earlier about this, but what do you guys think of all these exclusive releases that they're doing now? Because it seems like, I mean, like you just said, it seems like they're getting to the point where they are just printing money almost. It gets to the point where I think they have some great ideas and they have some awesome exclusives that I'd love to see. And then they put out one of them, but then they put out the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. They water it down so much that it loses its appeal. But what do you think about all this?
So when I saw, it's like, okay, first, everybody, I think most people's reaction was not another online exclusive. We don't know much about it, of course. We don't know if maybe it's a Montgomery Club, pre-sale. I had a couple people reach out to me saying that was kind of what they thought. Let's talk about T206, since that was the most recent one that's now dropped.
I would love
of
to.
5.
I would love to. So
the issue is this, at least what I've seen, is that product's been live on eBay for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people who still don't have ship notices on their Wave 1 orders. So if you're going to do an online exclusive, you have a window, let's call it 2 weeks, to order as much as your little heart desires. It's print to order. The more that gets printed, the harder it's going to be to pull, different parallels, because the product is spread out. And then once everybody's got their orders in, you wait 7 to 10 days to print everything, pack everything out, and then you ship everything at once. Everybody gets their stuff. It drops, it starts shipping on a Monday. Now, if you're in Texas, maybe you get your stuff on Tuesday or Wednesday. And if you're in California or Washington, Florida, New York, maybe you have to wait till Friday. But you're within a plus or minus of being able to open and list and recoup some of your money that you've put into this product and keep what you want, right? Some people are buying it strictly just to flip it, and that's fantastic. But you should have the opportunity. What's happening right now for people is that they're not getting their Wave 1 orders. It's already live. By the time you get it, the product's stagnant. We've moved on to the next thing. So now Wave 2, the print run's probably going to be cut in half. It's probably going to be the wave that everybody seeks. Wave 3 now is going to have a big jump, because Wave 3 is prospects.
I've got them up on the screen right now. The first wave was 74. The second wave was 33. So I mean, it dropped tremendously. And I'm one of those people that you're talking about right there that doesn't have their first order. And I've even put in 3 separate customer service requests that, even though through the COVID crisis thing, they say they're answering, and they say that there's still only a 72-hour wait time, have got 0 answer from nothing. I mean, maybe it's because of, things that I've said on the show. Who knows? Account might be flagged. It is under, let me get that potograph. But, my Wave 1 hasn't shipped. And I didn't buy it a ton necessarily to only flip. But it's the point of, I also ordered Sapphire, and the box is sitting right behind me.
Open that up, because I need a Robert Pawson out of it, please. Open it, send that to me.
I got a mojo for you.
Dan, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
What percentage of your customers, and this just can be roughly, would you say are non-collectors that are really just gambling? I'm going to give you $50, and I'm hoping to make, multipliers of X beyond that. Because the reason for that question is, if you relate that to online exclusives, if you're not getting it, so what percentage do you think are just strictly to make flip for money?
So, I mean, in the 10 years we've been doing it, it's been peaks and valleys when it comes to that exact, mindset of, is it gamblers? Is it collectors? That's why we started with the PYTs, because we were like, this is the best way for a collector to collect their team or their player and really focus on what they want their collection to be all about. Now, in the last 3 years, I would say the influx of gamblers has gone up tenfold. So I would say right now about 50-50.
Gotcha.
but it also depends on what we're breaking. If we're breaking basketball, it might be closer to 80-20 to gambler to collector.
Right.
Baseball has always been very straight. I mean, it's always been like 50-50. Football, 50-50. Basketball, I think you get a lot of the gamblers who get involved in that because you can get a card that is worth 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 20,000.
Yeah.
Where with baseball and football, those are a little bit more fewer and far between.
So
yeah.
I want to clarify something because Hoosier Cards said, can't you be both? I had made a comment about collecting versus being a flipper. Yeah, you can be both. The point I was going with the question, Dan, was, if you took half of your customers' cards that get open today and shipped them immediately and then waited 2 weeks for the rest, you would have to think that those people that are in this with the intent to flip that are going to be a little upset and angry. Because you have half this market that's already gotten a jump on eBay sales, selling at the height, right? That first 7 to 10 days, that first 72 hours is so crucial because it's that first shark the first penguin in the water gets eaten, right? But it's a good thing. I'm going to sell my Series 2 short prints for a $20 bill today, knowing damn well they're going to be $4 in a month.
In a month, yeah.
Because you get people like me that just, I need it to get into my binder and I need to move on to the next product.
Yep.
And my issue with Series or T206 is some of it's live. 2 weeks later, you're getting yours. The market's done, right? Series 2 blasters just dropped. Who the hell's buying that stuff? You already have everything you want out of it. The product's, going on 3 weeks old or more, right? So it's like the delay is going to kill the product. Just like, as a breaker, I would imagine your customers want that stuff in hand, the new stuff that drops today. They need that stuff in hand as soon as possible. If they're that 50% that is looking to flip it for profit, if I buy into a pick your team and I get the A's, you guys can sit on it for 2 weeks. I really don't care as long as I know it's coming. Makes never mind to me.
Exactly. But it's those other people. It's those other people, that are, like you said, that are looking to flip those cards, and that's where it's truly hurting people, and people like myself, which do I resell to multiple different people. There's people that I would like to at least have what I paid for, and it's just a little ridiculous when you can order something through Sapphire that comes out way after this stuff is done. You still don't even have that. I'm not even going to get into the Project 2020s that I don't have. But the speed to ship is definitely important, and I think it's something. Look, they're doing these at their own print. These are their own separate print facilities. It's not done by Cardamundi, stuff like that. They have. What's up, buddy? Awesome fourth guest to join the show. I want to hear his opinion on this next, but it gets to the point where I don't know, they've got to come up with some method to guarantee, to be able to get this stuff out. They've got their own printing press doing it. They really don't care. They know people are going to buy it. They know it's going to happen. And I think honestly, this is just preparing us for what the card companies ultimately want to do, which is direct to consumer. It's obvious when you even come out with putting products out in China with the actual designation of business to consumer, Tmall. That's what their designation for that is. That's where they want to go with this, and I think they're trying to prepare you for that.
Easy to say direct to consumer and that's what they're going for when everything is very hot. Yeah. When we get into a point where we will get into a point, it's not like if it happens.
Oh yeah, when
we're gonna run into some rookie classes that are not going to be as hot, and the absolute baseballs and the Phoenix footballs and the Illusion football, all those products are going to be sitting. If they go direct to consumer, Panini, the manufacturer, or Topps is not going to want to sit on a warehouse filled with stuff that is devaluing every day. What they need those distributors to be able to push that product on them and combine it with like a National Treasures or Immaculate or a Flawless or something like that. So they have a zero inventory. the direct to consumer is easy to say now when everything's hot.
Yep.
And I'm good with that. I really am. I really don't care how they get the product in the hands of the consumers. The quicker, the better, because I'm on the back end waiting for everybody to open this product, right? So for Mojo, most of your customers, whenever they get the A's, I'm hoping those go to the secondary, right? Mm-hmm. And the quicker, the better, so I can buy them. But the issue that I have is you have an absolute shit show with Series or T206.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and do Baseball Finest next, and the next one, and the next one. Get your stuff in order. It's not that much to ask. Yeah. Before, again, I don't really care if T206 or the next online exclusive takes a month after it closes to ship. Just ship them all together, allowing whomever wants to. You want to collect it, fantastic. You want to collect and sell, fantastic. If you just want to flip the unopened packs and boxes, or open up and list all of your singles on eBay, cool. We should all have the same opportunity. Because what it's going to do is we saw it with Series 2. People are like, I haven't got Series 1. Why would I buy into Series 2?
Right. Well, we do have a caller on the line right now. We're bring them on and see what they have to say about all this, or maybe they have a question on something else. We're about to find out. But regular on the show, Ziggy No. What's up, bud?
Thank you very much. I agree with what you guys, who got my Series 1 a day before Series 2 ended. I did put a small order. My question for you guys is, what do you think about their in Series 3? And not just their value, right? If that's worth going after, will that make a bigger print run? I'm curious, have they ever done this before? Okay. And then what are your thoughts on auto? Because I'm thinking, like, you had a Wander Franco T206 auto, that's going to be a great card, because those are more rare cards.
Is he coming across to all of us like a robot, or is that just
yes?
Okay.
A little choppy.
Ziggy, if you can call back when you get a better connection. I think that the questions, if we gathered it, was what do we think of Series 3 being prospect only?
Yes.
What do we think about autos being inserted, and say a Wander Franco auto being highly sought after should he have one?
Right.
You guys might be able to. I actually was talking in the chat on YouTube, and I had said this. So Topps can only release X amount of products for Bowman, right? There's a cap on how many prospect only products. So are they able to get around this because it's not a prospect only product like say Pro Debut is? Is that how you get around that ceiling or that cap?
I don't know. I guess they've got all these rules and these regulations for a while there. Major League Baseball in particular got really strict with everything on how you could designate this as a rookie and designate that, because they do have a hand in that, but it seems now that was before. I mean, we went to a game at the National, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. We went and saw Pete Alonso play, and every single ball, every single thing that he touched was walked right over, and we sat down low right next to the guy that certifies it. That man certified thousands of things between the first and third inning. I mean, was shipping off crates every 5 minutes full of stuff that was certified. I mean, it's just it's just ridiculous. It's out of hand.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I had reached out to our friend Ryan Cracknell to ask, because Topps Fire comes out around this time as a retail exclusive. It's never been announced. It's just one of those things like, hey, I'm on eBay and I'm looking up a such and such player, and guess what? Topps Fire is out because somebody's got a single. I don't know if maybe Topps Fire is going to, go away with some of these online exclusives, especially with COVID. How does that, affect the manufacturer retailer relationship? I mean, obviously you're still getting retail blasters in there, but it'll be interesting to see. But it's just, if you have your stuff in order, cool, you can release these until you're blue in the face.
Yes.
I don't think anybody really cares, because not every product is for everybody.
Right.
But when you're having such issues with Project 2020, and we understand that, COVID affected maybe overseas shipments as far as the one touches not matching and all this other stuff, the anticipation, the market demand changed significantly, and maybe they weren't prepared to have that much supply on hand. You got 1 million of them, you think, a million of them is going to last quite a while, until you see a one-day print run of 170,000 combined.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey, if you can't get your online exclusives out, I mean, I buy a lot of stuff from Topps Living Stat on Twitter, a lot of stuff. And he's like, I don't have my Throwback Thursday Brady Bunch, but I've got the Throwback Thursday sets for the next 2 weeks after that. Why has the Brady Bunch week not shipped yet? And he's getting turned back the clocks. Like he's getting 75 and 76, no 78, 79. Then he's getting 80 and 82. And it's just like, I don't understand. Right. I mean, you get it. Nobody's really in charge. It just seems like they're just spitting shit out all the time.
I just don't know if anybody. I don't know if Topps has the infrastructure to handle this type of like direct to consumer shipments, especially with the T206 Series 1. Just the graphic that you put up, 77,000 boxes made. I mean, that's a lot different than shipping out 5,000 cases to, maybe 25 different accounts. If you count distributors and maybe some online retailers that have direct accounts in some shops. So let's say like 100 different, shipping labels that are being printed and out the door. You're talking 74,000. I just think that in the times that we're in right now, with maybe not being able to have all the staff back, maybe it's a bad time to release a lot of this stuff because you can't follow through and get it in the consumer's hand as fast as they would expect it to be. And you're also selling something that is devaluing every day that consumer doesn't get it. So they're selling a sellable and it's devaluing. So you're actually pissing customers off. I just don't think they're ready. I just don't think they have the infrastructure to handle what they're doing. But the industry's so hot that they don't want to leave any money on the table, so they're gonna release these products.
I completely agree with you, and that's one thing that honestly, until like they get how Ben said, get their shit straight, which is what they need to do. Until that happens, like I've altered like the amount that I'm purchasing of certain things, everything, because I can't rely on anything. Even the Bowman, even the Sapphire, I got that 3-4 days later than most people did. Like it gets to a point where, yes, one time, okay, you understand it, but like you said, Ben, it's not one product. It's T2. It's the first one. It's this one. It's that one. It's every Project 2020. You're getting Beckett card size things inside one touches. I mean, it's every single product that has a major issue, and that's where they're losing me in terms of where I was actually purchasing a good amount of this and going and had a routine and a system set up in place that was working quite well for me, that I just completely altering due to, how they're ultimately starting to handle it. But we do another caller. So we'll go in and bring him in, and needs no introduction, Mr. Texas Card Dude. What's up, man?
There you go. There's the finest for you.
There it is.
There you go.
Found it.
Yeah. So, Dan, you probably hit it right on the nail on the head. Where they don't have I don't think they had the infrastructure originally. I think they were hanging by a thread, and they were running lean for profitability. And then when the shutdown happened, I'll call it the shutdown. When the shutdown happened, then you had the backlog. Well, we've said it previously, and especially Ben has said it multiple times. Now you're running into profitability problems because you've had that time. And yes, there's government kickbacks and all that other stuff that I'm not going to go into. But you have to make those third quarter numbers. Ben, you got to make those third quarter numbers.
Yeah.
So I think what they're trying to do is force everything down our throat that they can and try to catch up to a point, and in hopes that we just don't say, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. And what I see happening, I'm reading a lot, I'm listening a lot, I'm listening to everybody. Thank you everybody for all your Twitter comments. Thank you for coming in on the Hobby Hotline. Thank you for all the communication that you're giving. What I'm hearing is it that we're on the cusp of, or we're not? We're almost there to the point where people are just going to say, you know what, enough. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop at Finest. I'm going to stop at T206. I'm going to stop at the 12th edition of Bowman that they're about to release. Season 2 or Series 2 tops. I'm done. Somebody is going. The market's going to say, I'm done at some point and stop. And that's the point where I believe the manufacturers, when they see that backlog in the warehouse, when they see the backlog in the retail, when they see the backlog of everything, they're going to go, okay, we're done. Time to stop. But until we as a hobby get to that point, I don't think we're going to. Honestly, because we're always in our nature chasing the next thing. And Dan, you see it more than anybody in the front lines. Every time something is released, you can't get a breakout fast enough for the demand. And until that, here we go, demand price curve, until that actually hits, then the whole thing just starts all over again, cycle. So until that cycle or the wheel crashes, it's not gonna happen. And is it autographs? I don't know, because there's always another refractor. There's always another super refractor. There's always another one of one that you can create. There's always another Jose Canseco 101 Topps 2021 series.
Well, I mean, with the amount of countries in the world, they could put out one. I mean, I'm waiting for the rainbows to be 150 cards in every single country's getting blaster exclusives. I mean, it's getting to the point. I mean, I was originally, when I got back in the hobby, my whole collection was Carolina Panthers Topps Chrome rainbows. That's what I chased. I tried to build every single year. So, I mean, my set, you would literally see it. I'd finish from the early 90s, 2, 3, then it got up to 5, 7, 13. I think by the time they lost the license, it was up to like maybe 14 or 15. Now it's up in the 60s. And I mean, it's absurd.
Well, and you saw, to one of Brad's points about quarter 3 numbers, June 24th was a big holding date.
Yes.
First off, it was Stadium Club originally in January.
Yeah.
And then all these products got pushed back on the release calendar to the 24th of June, which we knew was going to be a holding date. Stuff was coming up and back, and we've talked about this before. And then within like an 8-day window in baseball only, you had Big League Baseball and Finest. You had Pro Debut, Clearly Authentic, Series 2, and I think I might be missing one there. And it shouldn't be surprising that it happened right in the June 20th to 30th window, which happens to be the end of quarter 2.
Right.
And then September, you're going to have Allen and Ginter and Stadium Club, which is going to push the back end of quarter 3. And you're seeing Topps come out with things because quarter 1 probably was horrible. I mean, we can only surmise in the first half of quarter 2. So you're going to see this stuff. June was bad. September's going to be bad. December's going to be bad. Going into the new year, they're going to shove whatever they can on us. And to your other point, Brad, if we all collectively said, hey, we're not going to buy this stuff anymore, the issue is it's the sneakerheads, as we've coined them. It's the outside money, that speculator, gambler money. Until that starts to subside some, and it'd be bad for Mojo Breaks bottom line. I'm sure, there's a lot of collectors, but I'm sure you've probably got an uptick, especially in basketball, people looking for that Zion that have a lot of money to throw around because they can't go to the mall and buy sneakers, and they can't do a lot of their other things right now until that money leaves the hobby, and we don't know when that'll be.
Well, yeah,
we're going to see these stupid prices, and the second stuff goes on sale, it's going to sell out.
Absolutely, and then you also have the fact that a lot of people have now with these cards, some of these cards and a lot of cards nowadays carrying incredible value. A lot of people have a lot of money put into this and are using this as a massive piece of, I know you hate the term, but investing. And, until that side also decides to leave, then it's definitely never going to change because they're not going to allow it. They'll keep pumping the money in.
Well, on that thought, think about this. What happened when the market started to get oversaturated in the 90s? You said it. Somebody said it earlier. What happens when we get Japanese exclusive Jose Canseco 1 of 1
Right.
2020? I mean, or the Korean exclusive, or or any of that other overseas exclusive now cross threading with one another. Then you got it. Didn't. Oh my gosh! I remember when that happened, and I nearly wanted to just toss my cookies. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I get back to the autograph content is what is saving us. They can't, the manufacturers, and I know for a fact, they are maxed out when it comes to their autograph content. They can't get any more. I think Panini is over 1 million autographs in a calendar year.
Yeah.
They don't have any more resources to get any more autographs. That is what's saving us, because when they start producing 4 different types of prisms and 3 different types of selects and optic and all that stuff, and you're not getting autograph content, well, that's because they're out of autograph content. They can't spread it out anymore. That's where you start getting into products that are going to be mass produced. You saw it with Ginter. Ginter Chrome has 1 autograph in a case, not in a box, in a case.
Yeah.
That tells me that they're releasing a product because it's hot. They know the market is hot. They got to get something out, and everybody wants what's coming out next. But they don't have the autograph content to put 1 auto in every box or 1 auto in every 3 boxes. If this keeps on going and these products keep on selling out, then we're going to go back to the late 90s where you get 1 autograph in every 5, 6, 7 cases. And it's like they have 8 guys on the checklist for the autos and they're numbered to 9,000. Like,
who the hell asked for A&G Chrome, Gypsy Queen Chrome? Who the hell is it? Because if you're listening, please call in, because
I want to know. I want to know.
I want to know who the hell out there asked for this crap. We don't need to chromium everything. You just don't. We don't need. There's certain products. A&G and Gypsy Queen literally are a throwback to yesteryear. This stuff was pre T206. There was no chrome. The T206 stuff that we're seeing right now, it's fantastic because it gives us a look back to what life was like, before World War I. A lot of this pre-war stuff, and it's great. But you don't need to chromium this stuff. You just don't.
Yeah.
Stop. No, if you're out there asking to chrome everything, call, because we'd like to talk to you about.
I really want to understand if somebody is out there that wants everything chrome to call in, because I don't get it. You're dead on. I talked about that on the show. Stu and I did an episode all about that, about how it was right when optic was starting to come out and starting to get its footprint and everything, and that's one of the things I was worried about years ago. Was that's where they were going to head with everything, is have a chromium version for everything that they want to have. But we actually have another caller now that I would like to bring in as well. And I believe he has a separate question on something that I wanted to touch on today, but we'll get to it in just a moment. James, what's up, bud?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
Actually, before we bring up the topic that I was messaging about, did everybody see the Ben Baller Chrome set that is going to come out relatively soon?
Yep.
Yeah. So are we really surprised that there will be a Ben Baller Chrome set?
So, Uncle Rich in the chat made a great point, because this was a question I had for Ryan Cracknell last year when Bowman Sapphire came out, because they can only make so many Bowman products a year. Bowman Sapphire is not a standalone product. It's a standalone parallel product, just like we saw with Panini Prism Quick Pitch, and we're going to see with Donruss Optic Choice and all of these other things. They're just re-releasing the same product, right? You have Bowman, and then Bowman Mega with the same checklist or very similar checklist. So Bowman Mega is a parallel. Now Sapphire is a parallel. And that's how they're getting around a lot of these caps, is you're able to just, hey, this is not new. This is just an extension of something we've already released. And it's like, yeah, okay, now you're fine. And it's ridiculous. And the more we buy this stuff at stupid prices, the more the more that this crap's going to come out in our, and it's not. Yeah, big league chrome. What about Topps Total Chrome? When are we going to get Topps Total Chrome?
Exactly. No, wait, hold on. I guarantee you someone's watching. Please, guys, don't do that. Please don't do it. Please.
I will give Topps credit. Last year I blasted, when you think of the word sapphire, you think of this deep, gorgeous blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last year Bowman Sapphire came out and it was Bowman cracked ice. There was no blue tint to it whatsoever. And on our podcast, we ripped that apart. I was like, Topps Chrome Sapphire, which had come out a couple of years in a row, was absolutely phenomenal. In my opinion, maybe the best parallel coloring of all, for at least like the 2018 year. And when Bowman Sapphire was released, I'm like, all right, I'm not a Bowman guy, but man, that blue's going to be sharp. And then, we destroyed it because it wasn't. And then this year it did come out with the blue tint, and it is phenomenal just from aesthetic. But I'm sorry, if we're paying 70, 100, 150 bucks for a single of some dude who's 17, don't we have to take a step back and ask ourselves, this guy's a kid in high school. Are we really spending life-altering money, $20,000 on an orange refractor of Jason Dominguez out of 25? So he has 24 friends. It's not like it's a super refractor. It's not like it's proprietary.
He's got a party.
It's not like I have it and you don't. Other than Mojo T-shirts, apparently some people have them when others don't. But that's the thing is, once I get a Mojo T-shirt, then more people will have it. A super refractor is and all these artificial 101s like you see in Topps ass and all this stuff. It's like, dude, it's just a 1989 Topps card with a couple of stamps. It's not a real 101. I mean, not that any of them are, right? But it's just, it never ceases to amaze me what people will spend. Like life-altering money for some of us. 20 grand on a kid. If this guy's the next Mickey Mantle, if that's his ceiling, great. Nah, I'm good. With 20 grand, I can go buy me a graded 4 mantle for 52 and have money left over. I can buy a T206 Cobb and still take my family to Disneyland. Or I can get some Jason Dominguez.
You can buy some T206 packs and get them like 6 months late. So
and that
you could do a lot with that money.
One final thought on that that T206 Wave 2. It's going to be easier to pull for whoever has it. In theory, it'll be easier to pull some of the parallels because the cycle out of 25 still have to be inserted over 33,000 cards, not 74. And the Sovereign backs and the Polar Bear backs. So whomever ends up with that should get a really good opportunity to recoup some of their money if that's their intent, because it should fall a lot better. Series 3 or Wave 3, whatever they call it, is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So sorry,
that one's.
I missed the early part of the show. What were the thoughts on Wave 3? Do you guys think it's going to be a lower print run than Wave 2? Or
no? I personally don't. I think Wave 2 was a drop because I think a lot of people were confused at first, and I think they thought that was that many per card and not that many packs made, because they never made that clarification for weeks. And so I think a lot of people stayed far away from it because they didn't know that was what the designation was. And that changes, the print run astronomically. So I think that combined with the fact that the prospecting market in baseball, I mean, I know it's taken a step back, but prospectors are chomp at the bit for anything. And I think prospectors are going to look at this as just like a lot of people that are buying the T206 are looking at it, that collect up on the big leagues. And so I think this is going to be, I don't know if it'll hit the first level. I don't know if it ever hits like that high again, but I definitely think it goes higher than the second level.
I think the key is that you're talking prospects though. And you also have to remember how many people are going to buy this and store it away and stash it because it is prospect based. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually does go over the 77,000. Because of that. Because you may have people who are like, I'm going to buy 100 boxes and I'm just going to store them away in my closet. And they're never going to see the light of day.
Well, we're going to bring a fifth on real quick to add into this conversation, Uncle Rich Klein.
As you're doing that real quick, Dan, we had a question from Ziggy. I was actually literally just about to ask it. Are you boys breaking any T206?
Nothing right now, but now that I'm talking about it with you guys, seeing all this crazy demand, we maybe the Series 3, but no, nothing planned that we have scheduled. If we do buy it, it would have to come from the secondary market, because we definitely didn't order any direct from Topps.
So how would you guys do Wave 3, considering they're all minor leaguers? Would you just do team affiliates, or
you
players?
know what? You know how we would probably break it? Honestly, we'd probably get it and we do it as personal boxes on Tuesday. I try to stay away from the pro debut stuff, which I do like, and I think there's value in it. We will have that on the site for personals. It's too difficult to have the shipping department sorted by 150 different minor league affiliates. It's hard enough to do like 30 teams, but having the shipping department look up every single minor league affiliate, it's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, you would almost have to do it by player, since there's only 50 subjects on that checklist.
Yeah,
you'd almost have to sell 50 spots, and your guy's your guy. And if you want to,
we can definitely do it that way. I'm reluctant to ever put anything up like that until I know there's a concrete checklist, and I know that there's certain guys, because obviously certain guys are going to be way more short printed than other guys. It's just the fact.
Yeah. Well, and pricing, especially since it's Doug's own personal brain algorithm that he does.
Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball.
Like Wander Franco, $800. This guy that I've never heard of, $2. Well, that guy might be better. Well,
let's welcome Uncle Rich to the show. Welcome, Rich. How's it going today, buddy?
Good to see y'all. I want to switch gears because there's a couple things going on that I want to talk about.
Sure.
Do you mind? Sorry, Uncle Rich. Do you mind? I wanted to come on and talk about one thing specifically, and actually, it would be good to hear your perspective too. And then I'll get out of your way. So, if there was, I posted it earlier this week on Twitter. Did everybody see the news about CGC?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually interviewed. I interviewed their VP of marketing and communications this week. He'll be on this week's episode of Let Me Get That Potograph, talking about the new grading, because they are jumping into sports card grading now.
Yeah.
And they are a well-recognized company in other fields
with a lot of money.
Right. So it's not like that they are totally new to this whole concept. Therefore, competition, as we're seeing, is really good for the soul, as they say.
Yes.
And we know PSA announced they were 1 million cards behind at one point. Beckett has been behind for years. I don't want to mention his name, but I actually just had a Facebook conversation with a friend of mine who begins at SGC on Wednesday. He is not publicly announced, so I can't say anything more than I know SGC is still hiring, trying to get more people in.
Right.
So there's enough out there for a fourth company if done correctly, done professionally, and as Drew says, done with money.
Yeah, and also, by the way, the slab, just so everyone doesn't freak out, the slabs, they've not finalized the design. That's not the design. So everyone's freaking out about that.
They'll make the design really good too, but there's room for a fourth company right now.
Absolutely, there is.
So for the non-comic book collectors out there, this is what their comic slab label looks like. Now, granted, this is a special one because this is they do two or three different types of labels. They do the regular one is blue. This is a signature series one. So this is a authenticated autograph. They have representatives that attend comic book shows or artist signings, and they authenticate that is a true autograph. But my question is, knowing how powerful and how big CGC is in the comic book industry, like they are the leaders for comic book grading. Do we think that will carry over to baseball cards? Are they big enough in the collectibles industry that they will have they will be the powerhouse. They could be a powerhouse with baseball cards.
Well, see, James, actually, I've been wanting to ask somebody about. I've been wanting to talk to somebody that was very familiar with them, and it sounds like you are, obviously.
A little bit.
And if they're the leader like that, now, do I think they're going to jump right in and all of a sudden, have this massive demand? I don't know. I think that's going to depend on how many people also collect comics and cards. I mean, that's where I think you'll see that. I think they're going to have a built-in audience. Obviously, people already know them. But I think they do have a legit. You'll hear a lot on the show. I don't really want to release it yet since that hasn't come out, but they're doing some interesting things with it. They're taking a little different approach than some companies are going to, and I'm interested to see it. But I think it could work, and I mean, there's definitely room for a fourth.
Well, yeah. And to James' point, when you grade a card, you really only want three things. There are three things that are important above anything else. One is always going to be transparency in bold, italics, underlined, highest font, right? Transparency is huge because it is an arbitrary process without, a lot of technology that helps. The second thing is price point. What's it going to cost me? And the last thing is, how quick do I get it returned? That turnaround time. So where they have an opportunity is, what is their price point? It'll be fascinating to see. Yeah. And how quick can they get it from point A to point B back to point A? And, are they fully transparent? And because they do have a reputation in that comic world, it's not like the five of us got together and said, look at all that room behind you, Dan. Let's throw some tables over there and we'll start grading our own stuff because we've got, we know what we're looking at. Yeah, I'm sure we do, but we don't have a system and nobody's going to, buy from D, B, R, and J, it's like, it could take us years. They're coming in already. I got a reputation. It'll be interesting to see too. Are they going to be like SGC where they've got this reputation for pre-war, PSA and BGS? Some people prefer this versus that. What are they going to focus on? Are they only focusing on, vintage and earlier? Are they going to focus on just autographs? What's their specialty?
I believe because of what they do, I know I've seen a lot of them advertise about the Pokemon world and the game.
Yeah, those
they have a lot of familiarity. So they've kind of sort of announced that will be like one of their major first steps. And I want to say they've sort of announced.
They just the Pokemon and Magic is up. You can get those slabbed with them right now, and the slab for the sports cards will be different. I can confirm that. But they are doing and they're two complete set. They're keeping them as separate entities from like the Pokemon and stuff and trading cards are actually. They're going to be under two different labels underneath the company. But it's it's dropping Sunday night, Ziggy. It'll be Sunday evenings when the show drops. And
by the way, speaking about Sunday night, congratulations, if we haven't said it publicly, to Drew for his 100th show last week.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
So some of the things I can tell you about CGC that are pretty similar in a good and bad way with, say, PSA and PGS is CGC has a really good population report. They have sets, registration sets that they have collectors build up just like PSA. So they have that. So that is something they're very much used to in the business. The bad part is turnaround time. They are very inconsistent and continue to be. It's been some years since I've collected comic books, but I still hear that they are inconsistent with turnaround time. So I think that unless they come out of the gate with a lot of staff and are ready to go and able to stick with their timelines.
Yeah,
that's usually where businesses fall off the rail. You get a brand new restaurant that opens up and your wait times are an hour and a half and your food comes out cold, or, those first 30, 60 day kinks.
No one goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
Right? Yeah. The good old Yogi Berra, right?
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of people, I think, because a lot of people in the chat room are asking, who's going to send it in. I think you have a lot of frustration with the grading process. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen my cards in 6 months. It's costing too much now. And if they can be competitive with their price point and their turnaround time. And like you said, they've got to be able to follow through. If you say it's going to be back in 2 to 4 weeks, it damn better sure be back within that 4-week window, or you're going to have a lot of people that are going to say, man, you guys need to stick to comics.
And that consistency has to stay when as the demand comes up, and that's a key.
And you can't grade an obviously fake card. I mean, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Also, frankly, checklist information, there's certain rules and laws about what's public information and what's proprietary. And if they take information without being allowed to, I know this from experience. So trust me on this one.
Right.
You can't just copy the Beckett database. You just can't copy the ComC database unless you pay for the privileges. A list of names is perfectly legal. Anything more than that, if there's a note anywhere in the card, the 89 Kirby Puckett card has Mark McGuire in the background. You can put on a slab 89 Kirby Puckett. But if Beckett listed 89 Kirby Puckett with Mark McGuire, or ComC has 89 Kirby Puckett, and then in the next line, Mark McGuire also featured, you can't put that on the slab legally unless you have permission to pay for it. So that's something nobody may have considered yet. But that's with knowing how Beckett sues people, that's a lawsuit waiting. I mean, that's literally a lawsuit waiting.
Speaking of which, are we going to talk about the McDonald's Project 2020 card that came out? Whether or not McDonald's is going to sue Topps over that.
Well, if they're McDonald's, they're smart if they don't, because that's free advertising.
Oh, it is. But can they? Us Americans, we love our frivolous lawsuits.
Well, it depends. I think on that one they'll be okay, because a lot of times on cards there's stuff in backgrounds. I was just going through some cards. There was a donation. There was a Reebok sign in the background. I think that if it's part of your normal card, that's okay. But if it's a person in the background, then you have to be really careful. There have been cases where people want their face off of cards.
Well, in Series 2, they just had the blunder with Pete Rose. They put Pete. I guess Major League Baseball doesn't want him in, and on the Decade's Best card in Series 2, Pete Rose is featured on it.
Yeah, how long will that last, or will they have to replace that immediately? The minute I saw that and I saw the note, it's like, oops, okay.
When Panini did it last year with Rodman, when they had Jordan on the Contenders, I know that I was pulling that card just about every other blaster that I opened, and then as soon as that was public, I don't think I pulled another one. So they definitely got rid of a lot of them pretty quick.
One thing about the Panini Rodman with Jordan in the background card, we learned this and it's posted on Dr. Beckett's podcast.
Yeah.
And by the nature of where a lot of Panini people came from, they were at the dinners. The NBA approves every card Panini does. They have sometimes it's a laborious process. If the NBA goofed up on that, that's really on the NBA. I don't blame Panini for that. They sent a photo and they may not have realized, or even if they did, that's the NBA's job to say, wait a second, you can't do that because it's got Jordan on the card, and that's, Upper Deck, has a right to have that exclusive. So I don't want to blame Panini totally for that. NBA has some culpability on that one.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. So there's a Topps Now card from 2 seasons ago. Yasuo Puig. I think it's either the NLCS or World Series, and it's a home run card. On the back of the card is Kobe in the stands. Clearly, you can see a picture of Kobe in the stands with the Dodgers uniform or Dodgers jersey on. I have to wonder if Topps had to go to anybody at the end.
If Kobe's in the stands naturally, and he's not wearing a Lakers uniform,
right.
So what's Panini going to do? Saying you can't use a picture when he's doing a normal activity? Just
he's a fan. Hey,
yeah,
it's not like Jordan where
that's a little bit different because he's not wearing a Lakers uniform. He's not in a basketball setting. If he's at the game, he's at the game. It would be just like if Jordan goes to a baseball game and is wearing a White Sox jersey. Can Upper Deck then say to Topps, you can't have him? He's sitting there. It's the same. It's the same. You may not be able to use a specific Michael Jordan card, but you certainly can have him in the background as part of a normal existence. because that's not a deliberate trying to break the rules. He's there. You have the photo. But that's something cool to note. If you want to email me or send me a tweet or something, I'll put that in the ComC database. I'm fine with that.
Sure. I'll send you a picture. I've actually sent it for grading because it's such a
send that to me. I'll get that in on. Actually, I probably won't be working till Wednesday this week. But I'll get it in on Wednesday.
What a lazy bum! Look at him.
I know, right?
Okay,
I just decided I'm taking Monday and Tuesday off too.
Right. Well, James, I think we got another caller. So, James, thanks for calling in, bud.
Thanks,
actually hit you up soon. Thanks, bud. And okay. Oh, well, they just disappeared as well. So,
okay,
I want
to switch for a second. This is my weekly public announcement.
Sure.
Brian Gray put a little note on Twitter that someone he thankfully did not test positive, but somebody did test positive in his warehouse, so everybody had to get tested at Leaf. A, we hope for a complete recovery for that person. B, it's not perfect, but if you're out in public, please wear these. This is not a joke. This is not the personal freedoms to me when you wear it, not to you. It's to me. But enough of that. Now, I also did have a real issue that came up this week.
Sure. What's up?
Amazon pulled any card and any item from. You're not allowed to sell anything that says Redskins on the database, and through Amazon.
Wow.
And that, and I'm just going to say. ComC, we have we do team names. You got the Redskins. I guarantee you the Beckett database has Redskins.
That's what the card is.
Right, because that's the team name. You can't rewrite history. Now, I can understand if they don't want to sell the jerseys nowadays where it says Redskin. That's one thing.
Yeah.
These cards are 80. Some of these cards are 80, 90 years old. The 35 National Chickle has a couple Boston Redskins in them. Yeah. Are we trying to change history? And I mean, think about the database work if that's true, and then eBay says no, you can't sell Redskin stuff either.
I know.
The card. Think about the database work involved. I'm just thinking on a practical level on that, but it's an important national discussion to have because for a lot of people, Redskins is a pejorative term. But we can't change the history of the fact that they were Redskins for 90 years.
Well, especially isolated within a hobby where you have cards that are part of that team, right?
Right.
There are a lot of, what's next? Washington Bullets. We can't sell those because that team name was changed for political reasons and societal reasons. And, where does it stop? Obviously the Indians and Braves, there's quite a few team names that are controversial without getting too political.
I think they'll all be safe. There'll be a discussion. I think Redskins will probably be the only one to go if that's
most likely
my opinion.
And you're right. We're not going to sell apparel. No hats can be sold. No jerseys can be sold. Fine. Moving forward, we're not selling anything that pertains to the Washington Redskins franchise. Any type of memorabilia, but trading cards are isolated into a hobby. I understand where Amazon is coming from. We don't want to be affiliated with that franchise name, and that's fair. It's their website. It's their consumer base that they've got to think about and their reputation, and that's fine. It just seems petty at the very least. But then again, who the hell's selling cards on Amazon? Come on.
Well, no, ComC, we have an agreement. We sell cards through Amazon on ComC. So we have
not Redskin cards anymore.
We have a lot of cards on Amazon. I know a couple local guys who sell cards on Amazon. There's a lot more people selling cards on Amazon than you realize. They may not be selling them, but there's a lot of people out there with the cards available on Amazon, more than you probably realize, Ben, which sounds...
I'm sure, yeah. I don't go on Amazon for a reason because that website's not allowed in our house. I like to have at least some mortgage money left.
Well, I've never bought anything from Amazon either, only because that's my type of preference, but that's a different subject for a different day. My wife and mother-in-law buy tons from Amazon. I don't buy a thing.
I can't fault them, but yeah, it just seems at least it's interesting that there are certain businesses that are choosing to distance themselves from a controversial name, regardless of what side you fall on. We all have an opinion. But again, that's their right? You can't walk into a store if they ask you to leave, right? No shoes, no shirts.
No shoes, no shirts, no mask. I mean,
what do you think about this, Dan? I mean, with everything with the Redskins and all that.
I mean, I think the writing was on the wall at some point that the Redskins were going to be gone, as we know it. Amazon doing the knee-jerk reaction of just releasing taking everything off the side is like, it's kind of the times that we live in right now. So the optics look good for Amazon doing that. And they probably are like, we're a big enough company. Hopefully the eBays of the world and all the other companies follow, Fanatics and everybody who sells apparel. But as far as the hobby, just the manufacturers, like, what's Panini gonna do? Like, they are going to release the rest of the year. They're gonna say Redskins on them,
right? Or the problem is, you'll have to airbrush the uniform. The card will have to say Washington NFC, and then it ends up looking almost like a Panini baseball card.
Yeah, exactly.
License, but not a league license.
Yeah, Panini already has the infrastructure to crop the crap out of that stuff and Photoshop it. So.
I mean, if the league stepped in and put some guidelines in, I think that would be good. They do it with jerseys. Like when players want to change their number, they have to put in a submission to the league saying, "Hey, I'm going to go from number 19 to number 18," and they won't let the player do it right away. They basically go, "Okay, thanks for giving us a year. Let us move through all the inventory we have, and next year you could change your number." Can it be something like that where they're like, "Okay, hey, everybody involved, we're going to go ahead and give you a year to figure it out and start in the 2021 season. We're going to roll out the new name."
Right, and that also gives the databases of a ComC, a Beckett, anywhere else a chance to just change Washington to Washington NFC or Washington NFL, where then, you can still then sell the cards on all platforms without an issue. But, as Dan says, and correctly, it is something that you need time to do. And one of the reasons the name's going to be changed, when FedEx goes to the Redskins, by the way, we're not going to pay you for the naming rights anymore, and we're going to take that away.
Yeah.
That amount of money is a big... that's huge.
Well, and one of the minority owners is part of the FedEx family. I think he's a high-ranking, I don't know if it's a CEO or something, but he's a high-ranking official.
And they're now looking to sell now. I mean, it's become
But one of them is 78 and wants to retire, so I don't know how much of it was really name-based as much. I think the optics are kind of skewed there. Yeah, there's actually an article on ESPN about it.
Even if you were going to do it, it's just a strange timing there.
Bad optics, but there's a lot of extenuating variables like what's going on in the world and the stock market's up and down, and from the outside looking in, it looks very curious.
Yes.
But the bottom line is 2021. It's the Washington Red Tails, or pick your new name. But a 1986 Topps card is still the Washington Redskins. It's what it is. And if I'm listing it on eBay, if I'm listing it on ComC, it's still a Redskins card. Whether the name is still, I can still sell Seattle Pilots. I can still sell Washington Senators pre-Twins, and the second one pre-Rangers. Right? They're still
Washington Bullets. You can still sell Bullets cards.
And they were not just they began as the Baltimore Bullets, then they became the Capital Bullets, then they became the Bullets. They never moved, but they were all over the place.
Well, you can still sell Los Angeles Lakers cards. When the hell were you in Los Angeles lately and you saw a damn lake? Explain that to me. Why are we listening to jazz music in Utah? I mean, a lot of team names have went with the franchise as they've moved.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you still have the Minneapolis Lakers and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's what it is, whether the team name got changed or whether the city changed, it's still on that. Yeah, I mean, basically, look at it like a historical document, right? This card is captured in a moment of time, and it needs to be listed as such. And if websites like Amazon want to pull it down, fine, that's their prerogative. I mean, we might have to get more creative with how we sell this stuff if ComC and Beckett Marketplace, eBay, Sport Lots all fall in line. Then we'll have to get a little more creative with how we buy and sell that particular team or a group of teams.
I mean, but it also could be a power play by Amazon just to let everybody know what type of power they truly do have. Amazon pulls the Redskins off, and now we go from talking about changing the team name to changing the team name. It's going to happen. Right, so, I mean, maybe it's just a power play by Amazon showing, hey, like, we truly do control pretty much everything.
It's like when Walmart, Procter & Gamble went back to Walmart to renegotiate prices, and they're like, they literally handed them paperwork, and they're like, we're going to start buying this from somebody, this from somebody. Here's 100 different vendors that we'll do business with, or you'll give us your price. And Walmart does like 70% of Procter & Gamble's bottom line, and they basically had to bend over and take Walmart's pricing. Yeah, because you're not losing. I mean, you're going out of business over this, or you're going to lose some of your profit margin. And it just goes to show you how big and how far the reach is of Walmart, Amazon, some other companies, and I'm sure Apple, and how much they control our lives directly and indirectly without us really even knowing it. Absolutely, we go to Walmart and our stuff is always on the shelf. We don't see the negotiation on the back end, and it's fascinating that companies have that kind of power and pull. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, it is that time, so I guess we will wrap episode 23 up. Is there anything, Uncle Rich, before we say bye? Is there anything going on this week?
Complex also came down with the COVID-19. They had to do a deep cleaning. For my sake, not for yours, for my sake, wear these in public. Period. End of sentence.
Well, it's always great to talk to you, Rich. Okay. Thanks for joining the show, bud.
I don't think in California, I don't think we really have a choice. I think
we don't.
We don't have.
Like every convenience store, every store you go into in California, there's a sign on there saying that it's like the no shoes, no shirt, no dice. Like we're pretty much, it's like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You're not getting in without a mask.
No.
My wife runs a tow truck company here locally, and one of their drivers were out in Brentwood, which obviously Dan knows where that's at, but it's about an hour or so from where we're at, and he was driving in his tow truck by himself, and local PD pulled him over and said, "You need to wear a mask while you're driving." And he goes, "Seriously? I'm in my vehicle." And they're like, "That's how we roll here in Brentwood." And it's like, she said that the EPA task force was going to local businesses here in our city and basically saying, we're going to fine you if you're not wearing masks in your office. So, again,
Yeah, it seems like that's where we're at these days, but it is, I mean, I know in South Carolina, North Carolina is a little bit more lax, but I know in South Carolina, I found that out when we stopped for gas, and I went and walked inside and got yelled at to go out to get out, because
at that moment you had to decide, mask or icy, which one is more important to me?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
And it comes down to, was it blue or was it Coca-Cola? Because if it's Coca-Cola, screw that noise.
It came down to Jude wasn't there, so I didn't have to get the icy.
What? That's why you stop at the Arco, to go in there and get the blue and the red and make a suicide of deliciousness. Get your Doritos, which are overpriced. Get your gas and go. Right? Maybe get a stick of beef jerky too. Who knows? Live a little. Get wild.
There you go. All right, y'all. Well, absolutely. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in. And Monday Night Heat this week. I do not have the hosts on me this week on exactly who is on, but we will be back on Monday as always. So for myself, Ben, Dan, if you guys don't have anything else, we will see y'all later.
Later.
Perfect.